Book 1 Chapter 6 to 9. The complete story of Madhu and Kaitabha. Part 1. The description of the preparations for the battle between Madhu and Kaitabha. The Rishi said, O Soumya, just now, you have spoken of the fight lasting 5,000 years in that great ocean between Bhagwan Sri Hari and Madhu Kaitabha. How was it that the two greatly powerful Danvas, invincible to the Devas, came to be born there? And why did Bhagwan Hari kill them? O highly intelligent one, kindly describe that greatly wonderful event. We are all extremely eager to hear it, and you, being a great Pandit and speaker, are present before us. It is our good fortune to have come across you here. Just as contact with the illiterate can be very painful, contact with the literate is as delightful as nectar. The animals in this world live like the illiterate. They eat, respond to their instincts, void urine and faces, and are remarkably adept at engaging in sexual intercourse. The only point of difference is that humans are capable of discriminative knowledge, the ability to discern right from wrong, the real from the unreal, and a knowledge of discrimination that leads to moksha or final liberation. Therefore, those who have no interest in listening to the Bhagavata and similar sacred texts are no different from beasts. There is no doubt about this. Behold, deer and certain other animals can enjoy the sense of hearing just like humans. And serpents, though lacking the organ of hearing, become charmed as if experiencing the pleasure of hearing sweet sounds much like humans do. Truly, among the 5 organs of perception, the organ of hearing and the organ of sight are the most beneficial, for knowledge arises through hearing, and the heart is pleased through seeing. Therefore, scholars classify the objects of hearing into 3 categories. 1. Sattvic, 2. Rajasic, and 3. Tamasic. The Vedas and other sacred scriptures are considered sattvic, literary works, sahitya, are rajasic, and war news or indulging in fault-finding is categorized as tamasic. Wise persons further subdivide the sattvic category into 3 subclasses: good, middling, and worst. That which leads to moksha is considered good or excellent, that which leads to heavenly pleasures is middling, and that which provides worldly pleasures is the worst. Similarly, literature, sahitya, is also divided into 3 kinds. That which encourages people to live harmoniously with their legitimate spouses is the best, that which revolves around relationships with prostitutes is middling, and that which promotes relationships with other spouses is the worst. The seers of Shastras, the learned men, divide the subjects of tamasic hearing into 3 classes. That in which a fight with enemies is described is the best, where the fight, such as that of the Pandavas with their enemies out of hatred or ill-feeling, is described as middling, and that where fighting is described without any cause is the worst. Therefore, O highly intelligent one, hearing the Puranas is far superior to hearing other Shastras, for it destroys sins, increases intellect, and accumulates punyam, good merits. So, O intelligent one, kindly describe to us the Puranas, which fulfill all the requirements of life, as you heard before from the mouth of Krishna Dvaipayana. Suta said, O highly fortunate ones, when you all are desirous to hear the Puranas, and I am ready to narrate them, then both of us are truly blessed on the surface of the earth. In days of yore, during the time of Pralaya, universal dissolution, when the 3 lokas and the entire universe dissolved into water, and when Devdeva Janardana was lying asleep on the bed of Ananta, the 1,000-headed serpent, 2 very powerful Daityas, Madhu and Kaitabha, arose from the wax of the ear of Bhagwan Vishnu. They grew in the waters of the ocean, played around in the waters, and thus passed some of their time. Once upon a time, when the 2 huge-bodied Danvas were playing with each other like 2 brothers, they reflected on the general rule of the universe that no effect occurs without a cause, and nothing can exist without its receptacle. But we cannot understand what our receptacle is, or who is resting on us. Where does this pleasant expanse of the wide ocean rest? Who created it? How is it created? Why are we living here, merged within the water? Who created us? And who are our father and mother? We know nothing of all these. Thus, as they pondered and could not arrive at any conclusion, Kaitabha spoke to Madhu, who was beside him in the waters. O brother, it seems to me that the great immovable force which makes us rest in this water is the cause of all. This whole mass of water, too, pervaded by that force, rests upon it. That highest Devi must be the cause of us. When the 2 Asuras, immersed in this thought, understood this, they heard in the air the beautiful Vagbija, the seed mantra of Vak, the speech, the Devi Saraswati. They then began to repeatedly pronounce the Vagbija mantra and practiced it with great steadfastness. Soon, they saw the auspicious lightning rise high up in the air and thought, "Certainly, the mantra we are repeating has made herself visible in this form of light. Thus, we have indeed seen the Saguna form with attributes of Saraswati, the goddess of speech, in the air." Thinking this in their minds, they abstained from food, controlled their thoughts, and constantly meditated on her, with their entire focus collected on that vision, and by continually repeating and meditating on the mantra, they became one with it. Thus, they spent 1000 years practicing that great tapasya. When the highest Adya Shakti became pleased with them and saw the two Danvas, steadfast in their austerities but weary, she addressed them invisibly through a celestial voice, saying, "O two Danvas, I am exceedingly pleased with your tapasya. Therefore, ask for any boon you desire, and I shall grant it." Hearing the celestial voice, the two Danvas said, "O Devi, O Suvrate, grant us the boon that we shall die only when we will it." Hearing this, Vagdevi said, "O two Danvas, certainly, by my grace, you shall die only when you will it, and you two brothers shall be invincible to all the Suras and Asuras. There is no doubt about this." Suta said, when the Devi granted them this boon, the two Danvas, puffed up with pride, began to play with the aquatic animals in the ocean. O Brahmans! Thus, some days passed when the two powerful Danvas saw Brahma, the Prajapati, seated on the lotus that emerged from the navel of Hari. Doubt arose in their minds, and they addressed him with the intention to fight. "O Suvrata, either fight with us, or leave this lotus seat and go wherever you like. If you are so weak, this auspicious lotus seat is not fit for you, for it should be enjoyed by the heroes. So, if you are a coward, leave it quickly." Hearing these words of the Danvas, Prajapati, engaged in the practice of tapasya, saw the two great powerful heroes and began to think anxiously, what should be done now? He then waited there. Thus ends the 6th chapter of the first book on the description of the preparations for the battle between Madhu and Kaitabha in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses, composed by Maharshi Vedavyasa, Book 1 Chapter 7. The Awakening of Vishnu. Suta said, seeing the two Danvas as very powerful, Brahma, the knower of all the Shastras, contemplated the means of Sama, Dama, Bheda, and Danda, conciliation, gifts, bribes or sowing dissensions, and war or punishment. He pondered which of these four he should apply. He thought thus, I do not know their strength, and it is not advisable to enter into war without knowing their strength. Again, if I offer praises to them, puffed up with pride, it will simply display my own weakness. When they come to know this, even one of them will be sufficient to kill me, and they will certainly do so. To offer bribes is also not advisable. And how can I sow dissensions? Therefore, it is best that I rouse the four-armed Janardana Vishnu, who is very powerful, from his sleep on the 1,000-headed Ananta serpent. He will remove my difficulties. Thus, thinking in his mind, Bhagavan Brahma, the lotus-born, remained in the tubular stalk of the lotus from Vishnu's navel and mentally took refuge in Vishnu, the remover of difficulties. He began to chant auspicious hymns, composed of various meters, to Jagnanatha Narayana, who was in deep yognidra, meditative sleep. He said, O refuge of the poor, O Hari, O Vishnu, O Vaman, O Madhva, thou art the Lord of the universe and omnipresent. O Hrishikesha, thou removest all the difficulties of thy devotees. Therefore, leave thy yognidra and arise. O Vasudeva, O Lord of the universe, thou residest within the hearts of all and knowest their desires. O thou, holder of the disc and club, thou always destroyest the enemies of thy devotees. O omniscient one, thou art the Lord of all the lokas and all-powerful. No one can know thy form. O Lord of the Devas, thou art the destroyer of all pains and sufferings, so arise and protect me. O protector of the universe, nothing is concealed from thy eyes, everyone becomes pure by hearing and chanting thy name. Thou art Nirkara, without any form, yet thou createst, preservest, and destroyest the universe. O cause of the world, O supporter of all, thou art shining as the King of kings over all, and yet thou dost not understand that the two Danvas, puffed up with pride, have become ready to kill me. If thou dost neglect me, seeing me greatly distressed and under thy protection, then thy name as preserver will become quite useless. Thus praised, when Vishnu did not get up, Brahma thought, Bhagavan Vishnu is now surely under the influence of the sleep induced by the primal force, Adya Shakti, and is therefore not awakening. What am I to do now, thus distressed? These two Danvas, elated with pride, are ready to kill me. Now, what am I to do? And where shall I go? I don't find anybody anywhere who can protect me. Thus thinking, Brahma came to the conclusion and decided to chant hymns to Yoga Nidra herself with a one-pointed heart. Reflecting in his mind, he thought that Adya Shakti, the prime force, who had rendered Bhagavan Vishnu senseless and motionless, would alone be able to save him. As a dead man cannot hear any sound, so Hari, merged in deep sleep, knows nothing. When I have praised him so much and he has not awakened, it is certain that sleep is not under Hari, but Hari is under sleep. He who is under another's influence becomes their slave. Thus, this Yoga Nidra is now exercising her control over Hari. Again, she too, who brought Hari under control, that daughter of the Kshira, milk, ocean, is now under the control of Yoga Nidra. It seems that Bhagavati Mahamaya has brought the entire universe under her control. Whether it be myself, or Vishnu, or Shambhu, or Savitri, or Rama, or Uma, all are under her control. There is no doubt about this. What to speak of other household persons, now I will chant hymns to Yoga Nidra, under whose influence even Bhagavan Hari is lying in deep sleep, inert like an ordinary man. When the eternal Vasudeva Janardana is freed from her influence, he will no doubt fight with the Danvas. Thus deciding, Bhagavan Brahma, seated on the tubular stalk of the lotus, began to chant hymns to Yoga Nidra, who was residing on the body of Vishnu, as follows. Brahma said, O Devi, I have come to understand, on the authority of all the words of the Vedas, that thou art the only one cause of this universal Brahmanda. Moreover, when thou hast brought the best Purusha, Vishnu, endowed with discrimination above all beings, under the control of sleep, this statement becomes self-evident. O thou, the player in the minds of all beings, O Mother, I am extremely ignorant of the knowledge of thy nature. When Bhagavan Hari is lying inert by thy power, then who, among the countless wise men, can completely understand the pastime, Leela, full of Maya, of thine, who art beyond the gunas? The Sankhya philosophers say that the Purusha, the male aspect of Shakti, is the pure, conscious being, and that thou art the Prakriti, devoid of consciousness, inert, and the creatrix of the universe. But, O Mother, art thou really inert like that? Never so. If it were so, how could it be that thou hast made Bhagavan Hari, the receptacle of the world, completely unconscious like this? O Bhavani, thou, being beyond the gunas, art displaying these various dramatic plays like a performance, through thy conjunction with the three gunas. It is through thy three qualities, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, that the Munis meditate every day in the morning, at midday, and in the evening, during the three Sandhyas. Yet, no one is fully aware of thy ways or doings. O Devi, thou art of the nature of judgment and understanding, giving rise to the knowledge of all beings in the universe. Thou art always the Shri, wealth and prosperity, that brings pleasure to the Devas. O Mother, thou art reigning in all as Kirti, fame, Mati, intellect, Dhriti, fortitude, Kanti, beauty, Shraddha, faith, and Rati, enjoyment. O Mother, now I am put to great difficulties, and therefore I have become an eyewitness to thy nature. There is no need for further reasoning or discussion about it. I have now realized that verily, verily, thou art the only mother of all the worlds, as thou hast brought Hari under the influence of sleep. O Devi, now, when it is evident that all the worlds and everything within them have come from thee, then it follows that the Vedas have also originated from thee. What doubt can there be about this? Thus, the Vedas, too, cannot fully comprehend thy nature, for the effect can never fully know its cause. So, it is indeed very true that thou art incomprehensible to the Vedas. O Mother, when I, Hari, Hara, and the other Devas, as well as my son Narda and the other Munis, have not been able to fully realize thy nature, then who else in this world can be so intelligent as to comprehend all of thy nature? Thus, thy glory is beyond the speech and understanding of all beings. O Devi, if, in the place of sacrifice, the ritualists and the knowers of the Vedas do not utter thy name, Swaha, then the Devas, the participants of the offerings in the Yagna, do not receive their share, no matter how many hundreds of oblations are offered. Thus, thou art also the giver of sustenance and allowances to the Devas. O Bhagavati, in previous kalpas, thou didst save me, terrified by the fear of the Danvas. O Devi Varde, now, too, I am terrified at the sight of the terrible forms of Madhu and Kaitabha and take refuge in thee. O high-minded one, now I thoroughly see that by thee, through thy power of Yog Nidra, the whole body of Bhagavan Vishnu is rendered senseless. But how is it that thou dost not realize my sufferings? So, either release possession of this Adideva or destroy these two Danvendras thyself, do whichever of the two thou likest. O Devi, those who do not know thy extraordinary powers, those foolish ones, meditate upon Hari, Hara, and others. But, O Mother, by thy grace, I realize today, as an eyewitness, that even Vishnu lies unconscious in deep sleep, completely unaware of anything outside, by thy force. O Bhagavati, now, when Kamala, the daughter of Sindhu, is unable to rouse her husband Hari by her efforts, or rather, thou hast also compelled her to sleep unconsciously, it seems she is entirely without effort and unaware of anything happening outside. O Devi, verily, blessed are those who worship thy lotus feet with their whole heart, full of devotion, and without any hope of receiving rewards, abandoning the worship of other devas, and knowing thee as the creatrix of the whole world and the fulfiller of all desires. Alas, now intelligence, beauty, fame, and all good qualities have forsaken Hari and fled to some unknown quarters. O Bhagavati, thou art truly adorable in the three worlds, for by thy power of Yog Nidra, Hari has been, as it were, imprisoned in this state. O Mother, thou art the Shakti of this entire universe, and art endowed with all prowess and energy. All other things are thy creation. As a dramatic player, though one, performs in the theatre, assuming many forms, so thou, too, being one, always playest in this enchanting theatre of the world, created by thy gunas, in various forms. O Mother, at the beginning of the yugas, thou dost manifest the Vishnu form first, and grant him the pure Sattvic Shakti, free from any obscuration, thereby enabling him to preserve the universe. And now it is thyself that hast rendered him unconscious. Therefore, it is an undoubted fact that thou dost whatever thou willest. O Bhagavati, I am now in danger. If it be thy desire not to kill me, then break the silence, look upon me, and show thy mercy, O Bhavani. If it is not thy desire to kill me, then why hast thou created these two Danvas, my death incarnate? Or is it that thou willst to ridicule me? I have come to know of thy wondrous acts. Thou createst this whole universe, yet, remaining aloof, thou playest always, and at the time of Pralaya, thou resolvest everything back into thyself. Therefore, O Bhavani, what wonder is there if thou willest to kill me in this way? But, O Mother, I would not feel any pain if thou willingly killest me. However, it is to my great dishonor that, having been given power over these beings, I would then become an object to be killed by the Daityas. This, indeed, is unbearable to me. O thou Leelmai, like a sportive girl, arise. O Devi, assume thy wonderful form and kill either me or the two Daityas, as thou willest, or rouse Hari, who will then slay the Daityas. All these are in thy hands. Suta said, thus praised by Brahma, the Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep, of the nature of Tamo Guna, quitted the body of Bhagavan Hari and stood beside him. When the Devi Yoga Nidra, of unparalleled brilliance and splendor, left completely for the destruction of Madhu and Kaitabha, Vishnu began to move his body, and at this, Brahma became very glad. Thus ends the 7th chapter of the first book on the awakening of Vishnu in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses, composed by Maharshi Vedavyasa, Book 1 Chapter 8. The description of the decision on whom to worship. The rishis said, O highly fortunate one, a great doubt has arisen regarding your statement. This is ascertained by all the wise men, as written in the Vedas, Puranas, and other Shastras, that Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheswar, these three devas, are eternal. None is superior to them in this Brahmanda. Brahma creates all the beings, Vishnu preserves, and Maheshwar destroys all in due time. These are the causes of creation, preservation, and destruction. The Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, are really one form, indeed, Trinity in unity and unity in Trinity. Being endowed respectively with Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas gunas, they perform their respective works. Amongst these, again, Purushottama Adideva Jagannatha Hari, the husband of Kamala, is the best, for he is capable of performing all actions. No other than Vishnu, of unrivaled prowess, is so capable. How is it, then, that Yogmaya has overpowered Hari with sleep and made him altogether senseless? O highly fortunate one, whither did then go that extraordinary self-knowledge and power, etc., of Hari while alive? This is our greatest doubt, so kindly advise us that this doubt may be removed and our well-being be thus ensured. What is that Shakti, which you mentioned to us before, by whom Vishnu is conquered? Whence is she born? What is the power of that Shakti and what is her nature? O Suvrita, explain to us these fully. How is it that Yogmaya overpowered with sleep the highest deity, Bhagavan Vishnu, who is everlasting, intelligence and bliss, who is the God of all, the Guru of the whole world, the Creator, Preserver and Destroyer, who is omnipresent, an incarnation of purity and holiness, and beyond Rajoguna? How was such a personage brought under the control of sleep? O Suta, you are very intelligent and the pupil of Vyasadeva. Destroy this doubt of ours with a sword of wisdom. Hearing this, Suta said, O highly fortunate Munis, there is none in the three lokas who can clear this doubt of yours. The mind-born sons of Brahma, Narda, Kapila, and other eternal sons get bewildered by these questions. What can I, then, say on this very difficult point? See, some persons call Bhagavan Vishnu omnipresent, the preserver of all, and the best of all the devas. According to them, all this universe, moving and non-moving, is created by Vishnu. They bow down before the highest Narayana, Hrisikesha, Janardana, Vasudeva, and worship him. Whereas others worship Mahadev Shankara, who has Gauri for the other half of his body, endowed with all powers, residing in Kailasa, surrounded by hosts of bhutas, who destroyed Daksha's sacrifice, and who is mentioned in the Vedas as Shankara, having the moon on his forehead, with 3 eyes and 5 faces, holding a trident in his hand, and known as Vrishadvaja and Kapardi. O highly intelligent ones, there are some other persons who know the Vedas and worship the sun every day in the morning, midday, and evening with various hymns. In all the Vedas, it is stated that the worship of the sun is excellent, and they have named the high-souled sun as Paramatma, the highest deity. Whereas there are other Vedavids, the knowers of the Vedas, who worship the Devas, fire, Indra, and Varuna. But the Maharshis say that, as Ganga Devi, the river Ganges, though one, expresses herself through many channels, so the one Vishnu is expressed in all the Deva forms. Those who are great Pandits declare perception, inference, and verbal testimony as the 3 modes of proof. The Naiyayic Pandits add to the above 3 a 4th proof, which they call Upama, resemblance or similitude. Some other intelligent Pandits add a 5th proof called Arthpatti, an inference from circumstances, presumption, or implication. It is the deduction of a matter from that which could not else be. It is the assumption of a thing not itself perceived, but necessarily implied by another which is seen, heard, or proved. Whereas the authors of the Puranas add to other proofs, called Shakshi and Atidhya, thus advocating 7 modes of proof. Now, the Vedanta Shastra says that the Supreme Being, Param Brahma, the prime cause of the universe, cannot be comprehended by the above-mentioned 7 proofs. Therefore, first of all, adopt the reason leading to sure belief, the buddhi, according to the words of the Vedas, and discriminate and discuss again and again, drawing your inference about Brahma. And the intelligent person should adopt what is seen by perception as self-evident, and what is inferred by the observance of good conduct. The wise persons say, and it is also stated in the Puranas, that the prime force is present in Brahma as the creative force, is present in Hari as the preservative force, is present in Hara as the destructive force, is present in Kurma, the tortoise, and in Ananta, the 1,000-headed snake, as the earth-supporting force, is present in fire as the burning force, is present in air as the moving force, and so is present everywhere in various manifestations of forces. In this whole universe, whoever he may be, all are incapable of any action if deprived of their force. What more than this, if Shiva be deprived of Kula Kundalini Shakti, he becomes a lifeless corpse. O great ascetic rishis, she is present everywhere, in everything in this universe, from the highest Brahma to the lowermost blade of grass, in all moving and non-moving things. Verily, everything becomes quite inert if deprived of force, whether in conquering one's enemies, or in going from one place to another, or in eating, one finds oneself quite incapable if deprived of force. Thus the omnipresent Shakti, the wise call by the name of Brahma. Those who are truly intelligent should always worship her in various ways and thoroughly determine the reality of her by every means. In Vishnu, there is the Satviki Shakti. Then he can preserve, otherwise he is quite useless. Similarly, in Brahma, there is Rajasi Shakti and he creates, otherwise he is quite useless. In Shiva, there is Tamsi Shakti and he destroys, else he is quite useless. Thus, arguing again and again in one's mind, everyone should come to know that the highest Karya Shakti, by her mere will, creates and preserves this universe, and she it is who destroys again in time the whole Brahmanda, both moving and non-moving. No one is capable of doing his respective work, be he Brahma, Vishnu, Maheswar, Indra, fire, sun, Varuna, or any other person whatsoever. Verily, all the Devas perform their respective actions by the use of this Karya Shakti. That she alone is present in cause and effect and is doing every action can be witnessed vividly. The intelligent once call that Shakti twofold, one is Saguna and the other is Nirguna. The people, attached to the senses and the objects, worship the Saguna aspect, and those who are not so attached worship the Nirguna aspect. That conscious Shakti is the lady of the fourfold aims of life, religion, wealth, desires, and liberation. When she is worshipped according to the rules, she grants all sorts of desires. The worldly persons, charmed by the Maya of this world, do not know her at all. Some persons know a little and charm others, whereas some stupid and dull-headed pandits, impelled by Kali, start sects of heretics, pasandas, for the sustenance of their own bellies. O highly fortunate Munis, in no other yugas were acts found as prevalent in this Kali Yuga, based on various different opinions and altogether beyond the pale of the Vedic injunctions. Behold again, if Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh are the supreme deities, then why do these three Devas meditate on another one beyond speech, beyond mind and practice for years, hard austerities? And why do they perform yagnas, sacrifices, for their success in creation, preservation, and destruction? They know, verily, the highest supreme being, Brahmani Devi Shakti, eternal and constant, and therefore they meditate on her always in their minds. Therefore, the wise man, knowing this firmly, should serve in every way the highest Shakti. O Munis, this is the settled conclusion of all the Shastras. I have heard of this great hidden secret from Bhagavan Krishna Dvaipayana. He heard it from Narada, and Narada heard it from his own father, Brahma. Brahma heard this from Vishnu. O Munis, it is well that the wise should not hear or think anything contrary from other sources. They should, with their concentrated hearts, serve the Brahma Sanatani Shakti. It is clearly witnessed in this world that if there be any substance wherein this conscious Shakti does not exist, it becomes inert, quite useless for any purpose. So know this fully, that it is the highest divine mother of the universe who is playing here, residing in every being. Thus ends the 8th chapter of the first book on the description of the decision on whom to worship in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses, composed by Maharshi Vedavyasa, Book 1 Chapter 9. The description of the slaying of Madhu and Kaitabha by Hari, Vishnu. Suta said, O Munis, when the excellent Tamasi Shakti, the goddess presiding over sleep, emerged from the eyes, mouth, nose, heart, and other parts of the body of the world Guru, Vishnu, and rested in the celestial space, the powerful Lord Vishnu began to yawn and then rose. He saw Prajapati Brahma, who was terrified, and spoke to him in words as deep as the rumbling of clouds. O Bhagavan Padmayone, what brings you here and causes you to leave your tapasya? Why do you look so terrified and anxious? Hearing this, Brahma said, O Deva, to very powerful and terrible Daityas, Madhu and Kaitabha, who sprang from the wax of your ears, have approached to end me. Terrified, I have come to you. So, O Lord of the universe, O Vasudeva, I am now completely out of my senses and terrified. Please save me. Vishnu then said, Go now and rest in peace, without any fear. Let those two fools, whose lives are nearly exhausted, come to me for battle. I will certainly end them. Suta said, while Bhagavan Vishnu, the Lord of all the Devas, was speaking thus, those two very powerful Danvas, elated with pride, came there in search of Brahma. O Munis, the two proud Daityas stood amidst the Pralaya waters, with nothing to support them, maintaining a calm demeanor. They then spoke to Brahma as follows, O you, have you fled and come here? You cannot escape. Go on and fight. I will end you before this one. Then I will end him as well, the one who sleeps on this bed of serpents. Either give us battle or acknowledge yourself as our servant." Hearing their words, Janardana Vishnu addressed them as follows. "O to Danvas, mad for war, come and fight with me as you wish. I will surely curb your pride. O to powerful ones, if you trust me, come and fight." Hearing this, the two Danvas, resting without any support amidst the vast mass of water, came forward to fight, their eyes blazing with anger. The Daitya named Madhu, filled with rage, quickly advanced to fight, while Katbha remained where he stood. Then a hand-to-hand fight ensued between the two fierce warriors. Bhagavan Hari and Madhu became tired, and Katbha stepped forward to join the battle. After that, Madhu and Katbha, blinded by rage, fought relentlessly, engaging in hand-to-hand combat with the mighty Vishnu again and again. Bhagavan Brahma and the prime force, Adya Shakti, witnessed this from the celestial heavens. The fight continued for a long time, yet the two Danvas did not feel the slightest fatigue. Instead, Bhagavan Vishnu grew weary. Thus, 5,000 years passed. Hari then began to ponder over the means of their death. He thought, "I have fought for 5,000 years, yet the two formidable Danvas have not grown tired at all. Instead, I am the one who is weary. This is truly a matter of great surprise. Where has my prowess gone? And why have these two Danvas not grown tired? What is the cause of this? This is a matter that must now be seriously considered." Seeing Bhagavan Hari deeply immersed in thought, the two haughty Danvas spoke to him with great glee and voices like the rumbling of clouds. "O Vishnu, if you are tired and lack the strength to fight us, then raise your folded palms over your head and acknowledge yourself as our servant. Otherwise, if you can, continue fighting. O intelligent one, we will take your life first and then slay this four-faced Brahma." Hearing the words of the two Danvas, who rested without any support in the vast ocean, the high-minded Vishnu replied to them in sweet, consoling words. "See, O heroes, no one ever fights with someone who is tired, afraid, weaponless, fallen, or a child. This is the dharma of true heroes. Both of you have fought with me for 5,000 years. However, I am alone, while you are two, both equally powerful, and you took turns resting. Therefore, I will also rest for a while, and then fight you again with certainty. Both of you are very powerful and exceedingly proud. So, rest for a while. After taking some rest, I will fight with you according to the just rules of warfare." Hearing these words of Hari, the two chief Danvas trusted him and stood far away, ready to fight again. Now the four-armed Vasudeva, seeing them at a sufficient distance, began to ponder, how can their death be brought about? After pondering for a while, he realized that they had been granted the boon of death at their own will, Ichhamrityu, by the Supreme Shakti Devi, and this was why they were not growing tired. "I have fought with them for so long in vain. My efforts were wasted. How can I now continue to fight with this certain knowledge? Yet, if I do not fight, how can these two Danvas, elated by their boon and causing trouble to all, be destroyed? Since the boon has been granted by the Devi, their death is nearly impossible. Who would willingly desire their own death, even when placed in the most distressing circumstances? Even when attacked by terrible diseases or reduced to abject poverty, no one desires death. How then can it be expected that these two haughty Danvas would willingly seek their own demise? Therefore, it is wise for me to seek refuge in Adya Shakti Devi, the bestower of all desired fruits. No desire can ever be fulfilled unless she is thoroughly pleased." With this thought, Bhagavan Vishnu beheld the beautiful Devi Yoga Nidra Shiva, radiantly shining in the air. Then, the supreme yogi, Bhagavan Vishnu, of immeasurable spirit, folded his palms and began to praise the great Bhuvneshwari Mahakali, the bestower of boons, for the destruction of the Danvas. "O Devi, I bow down to thee, O Mahamaya, the creatrix and destructrix, thou, who art beginningless and deathless, O auspicious Chandike, the bestower of both enjoyment and liberation. I do not know thy Saguna or Nirguna forms. How, then, can I comprehend thy innumerable glorious deeds? Today, I have experienced thy indescribable prowess, having been rendered senseless and unconscious by thy power of sleep. Despite Brahma's repeated and careful efforts to restore my consciousness, I could not awaken, so deeply had my senses been contracted. O Mother, by thy power, thou didst render me unconscious, and it is by thy grace that I have now awakened from sleep. I have fought countless times, O giver of honor, and now I am weary. Yet, thou hast granted a boon to the two Danvas, and thus they do not tire. These two Danvas, swollen with pride, were prepared to end Brahma. Therefore, I challenged them to fight, and now they are fiercely battling me in this vast ocean. But thou hast granted them the wondrous boon that they will die only when they will it. Thus, I have come to thy refuge, for thou art the protector of those who seek shelter under thee. Therefore, O Mother, remover of the Devas' troubles, these two Danvas have grown exceedingly proud due to thy boon, and I am weary. Therefore, I implore thee to help me now. See, those two sinners are prepared to end me. Without thy grace, what can I do, and where can I go? Thus praised by the eternal Vasudeva, Jagnatha Hari, with humility and pranams, the Devi Mahakali, resting in the air, smiled and said, O Dev Deva Hari, fight again. O Vishnu, these two heroes will be slain by you when they are deluded by my Maya. I shall certainly delude them with my sidelong glance. O Narayana, when they are bewitched by my Maya, slay the two Danvas without delay. Suta said, hearing these loving words of Bhagavati, Bhagavan Vishnu returned to the battlefield in the middle of the ocean. The two powerful Danvas, calm and eager to fight, were overjoyed upon seeing Vishnu and said, O forearmed one, your ambition appears lofty indeed. Well then, stand firm, prepare yourself for battle, knowing that victory or defeat is ultimately determined by destiny. Consider this, although it is generally true that the more powerful one claims victory, there are times when the weaker prevails due to a strange twist of fate. High-souled individuals should neither rejoice excessively at their victories nor lament their defeats. Do not be overjoyed thinking of your many past victories against other Danvas who were your enemies, nor be disheartened if now you are defeated by us too. Thus saying, the powerful Madhu and Kaitabha advanced to fight. Seeing this, Bhagavan Vishnu struck them immediately with his fists, delivering powerful blows. The two Danvas, elated by their strength, retaliated by striking Hari with their own fists. The battle continued vigorously, with great intensity on both sides. Seeing the two immensely powerful Danvas fighting relentlessly, Narayana Hari cast a glance filled with great distress towards the face of Devi Mahakali. Observing Vishnu's plight, the Devi laughed loudly and fixed her gaze upon the two Asuras. Her eyes, slightly reddened, emitted sidelong glances imbued with love and amorous allure, as though they were arrows shot by Cupid. The two vicious Daityas became captivated by the sidelong glances of the Devi and found great pleasure in them. Overcome by the amorous darts of her gaze, they became extremely agitated and fixed their steady gaze upon the Devi, whose radiance was spotless and enchanting. Bhagavan Hari also observed the Devi's extraordinary and enchanting pastime with wonder. Smiling and perfectly adept at employing strategies to achieve his objectives, Hari spoke in a voice as deep and resonant as rumbling clouds, addressing the two Danvas, now captivated by Mahamaya's spell, as follows. O two heroes, I am greatly impressed by your exceptional way of fighting. Ask me for any boon, and I shall grant it to you. I have encountered many Danvas before in battle, but never have I seen such skill as yours, nor have I heard of anything like it. I am, therefore, truly satisfied by your unmatched power and prowess. So, O mighty pair of Danvas, I wish to grant you any boon that you desire. Seeing Devi Mahamaya, the gladdener of the universe, the two Danvas were overcome with amorous feelings. Filled with pride upon hearing Vishnu's words, they turned to him with their lotus-like eyes wide open and spoke as follows. O Hari, what do you wish to give us? We are not beggars, and we desire nothing from you. O Lord of the Devas, instead, we will grant you whatever you desire. We are givers, not receivers. So, O Vasudeva, Hrishikesha, we are delighted by your extraordinary fight. Ask from us any boon that you wish. Hearing their words, Bhagavan Janardana replied, If you are both so pleased with me, then I wish this, that both of you be slain by me. Hearing these words of Vishnu, Madhu and Kaitabha were greatly surprised. Thinking, we have been deceived, they remained for some time submerged in sorrow. Then, reflecting that there was water everywhere and no solid ground to stand on, they said, O Janardana Hari, we know that you are truthful. Therefore, we now ask for the boon you wished to grant us before. Grant us this desired boon, O Madhusudana, we will be slain by you. But end us, O Madhva, on solid ground, free from any water, so that you may keep your word. Shri Bhagavan Hari laughed and, remembering his Sudarshana disc, said, O two highly fortunate ones, verily, I will slay both of you on a vast, solid spot, without any trace of water. Thus saying, Devdeva Hari expanded his own thighs and revealed to the Danvas the vast, solid earth emerging from the surface of the water, and then said, O two Danvas, see, there is no water here. Place your two heads here, and thus I will keep my word, and you will keep yours. Hearing this, Madhu and Kaitabha reflected for a moment, and then expanded their bodies to 10,000 yojnas. Bhagavan Vishnu Hari also extended his thighs to twice that length. Seeing this, Madhu and Kaitabha were greatly surprised and, in awe, laid their heads on the thighs of Vishnu. Vishnu, of wonderful prowess, then swiftly severed the two enormous heads with his Sudarshana disc, which had been resting on his thighs. Thus, the two Danvas, Madhu and Kaitabha, perished, and their marrow, Mida, filled the ocean. O Munis, for this reason, this earth is named Medini, and the earth is unfit for consumption. Thus, I have described to you all that you asked. The sum and substance of it is this: the wise should serve Mahamaya with all their hearts. The Supreme Shakti is worshipped by all the Devas. Verily, I say unto you that it is clearly stated in all the Vedas and other Shastras that there is nothing higher than this Adya Shakti. Therefore, this Supreme Shakti should be worshipped in every way, either in her Saguna form or in her Nirguna state. Thus ends the 9th chapter of the first book on the description of the slaying of Madhu and Kaitabha by Hari, Vishnu, in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses, composed by Maharshi Vedavyasa.